الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. So now we talked about that. We reached the explanation to another hadith that's going to be brought as sharh, and that's the hadith الثالث, the third one. الحمد لله الذي عافاني في جسدي ورد علي روحي وأذن لي بذكره. To say when waking up, all praises are due to Allah who has given me health in my body and returned my soul to me and has permitted me to remember him. Now, الشرح, the explanation. أولا لفظ الحديث. So the wording of the hadith. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا قام أحدكم عن فراشه ثم رجع إليه فلينفض فعفوا فلينفضه. نعم. بصنفة بصنفة إزاره 3 مرات فإنه لا يدري ما خلفه عليه بعده والله المستعان. فإذا اضطجع فليقول باسمك ربي وضعت جنبي وبك نعم أرفعه فإن أمسكت نفسي فارحمها وإن أرسلتها فاحفظها بما تحفظ به عبادك الصالحين. فإذا استيقظ فليقول الحمد لله الذي عافاني في جسدي ورد علي روحي وأذن لي بذكري. This is beautiful, beautiful dua. Now, so it has some instructions on how we sleep and our behavior and manners of sleeping. The Prophet Abu Hurairah said, the Prophet said, إِذَا قَامَ أَحَدُكُمْ عَنْ فِرَاشِهِ, if one of you gets out of his bed and then return to bed, فلينفضه عفوا بصنفة إزاره. So he said, whoever got off your bed and when you're ever going back to bed, you're about to go to sleep. I mean, you got up for the day. You went out for the day, you did your whole day. And you're coming back to go to bed. So you should take the end of your izar and wipe your bed off 3 times because you don't know what took place on it, meaning from the shayateen. You don't know what happened on your bed after you were gone. There's another hadith that explains that when somebody wants to go to bed, the shaitan purposely places things on your bed to make you have a restless night in order for you to miss Fajr or not get up for Qiyam al-Layl. A real enemy. Real enemy. Anytime something that can benefit us and cause us to worship Allah, he wants us to distract us from that. نعم بصنفة إزاره 3 مرات. So he wipes it off with the end of his izar 3 times. فإنه لا يجري ما خلفه عليه بعده. He doesn't know what took place on that bed once he got out of it. فإذا اضطجع فليقول. So then if you want to lay back down, then he should say, باسمك ربي وضعت جنبي. In your name, my Lord, I have laid my side down. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. And with your permission, I get back up. I remove my side. فَإِنْ أَمْسَكْتَ نَفْسِي فَارْحَمْهَا. So if you keep my soul, then have mercy upon it. وَإِنْ أَرْسَلْتَهَا فَاحْفَظْهَا بِمَا تَحْفَظُ بِهِ عِبَادَكَ الصَّالِحِينَ. And if you send my soul back to my body, then preserve it with that which you preserve your righteous slaves. فَإِذَا اسْتَيْقَظَ. Then if he wakes up after that, فَلْيَقُلْ. Then he should say, all praises due to Allah who has given me health in my body and returned my soul to me and permitted me to remember him. So let's go back over this dua, this wording. Prophet said we should say upon going to sleep, number one, wipe the bed off 3 times with your izar because you know what happened while you were out all day. Then after that, the person should say, Bismika Rabbi. Bismika Rabbi wada'tu jambi. Bismika Rabbi wada'tu jambi. Bismika Rabbi wada'tu jambi. Da, not da. Wada, wada'tu. Bismika Rabbi wada'tu jambi. Bismika Rabbi wada'tu jambi. In your name, my Lord, I have laid my side down. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. And with your permission, I raise my side. Bismika Rabbi wada'tu jambi. In your name, my Lord, I've laid my side down. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. And with your permission, I will raise it up again. Bismika Rabbi wada'tu jambi. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. In your name, my Lord, I've laid my side down, and with your permission, I will raise it up again. فَإِنْ أَمْسَكْتَ نَفْسِي فَارْحَمْهَا. فَإِنْ أَمْسَكْتَ نَفْسِي فَارْحَمْهَا. فَإِنْ أَمْسَكْتَ نَفْسِي فَارْحَمْهَا. فَإِنْ أَمْسَكْتَ نَفْسِي فَارْحَمْهَا. So if you keep my soul, have mercy upon it. فَإِنْ أَمْسَكْتَ نَفْسِي فَارْحَمْهَا. So if you keep my soul, because the soul leaves the body in sleep. Sleep is the cousin of death. So if you keep my soul, have mercy upon it. وَإِنْ أَرْسَلْتَهَا فَاحْفَظْهَا. وَإِنْ أَرْسَلْتَهَا فَاحْفَظْهَا. وَإِنْ أَرْسَلْتَهَا فَاحْفَظْهَا. And if you send my soul back, then preserve it. And if you send my soul back, then preserve it. And if you send my soul back, then preserve it, guard it. بِمَا تَحْفَظُ بِهِ عِبَادَكَ الصَّالِحِينَ. بِمَا تَحْفَظُ بِهِ عِبَادَكَ الصَّالِحِينَ. بِمَا تَحْفَظُ بِهِ عِبَادَكَ الصَّالِحِينَ. With that which you preserve your righteous slaves. With that which you preserve your righteous slaves. With that which you preserve your righteous slaves. Bismika Rabbi wada'tu jambi. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. وَبِكَ أَرْفَعُهُ. فَإِنْ أَمْسَكْتَ نَفْسِي فَاحْفَظْهَا. وَإِنْ أَرْسَلْتَهَا فَاحْفَظْهَا بِمَا تَحْفَظُ بِهِ عِبَادَكَ الصَّالِحِينَ. Now, then he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, فَإِذَا اسْتَيْقَظَ فَلْيَقُلْ. And when he wakes up, he says, الحمد لله الذي عافاني في جسدي ورد علي روحي وأذن لي بذكره. All praise is due to Allah, who has preserved me, who has given me health in my body, and returned my soul to me, and has permitted me to remember him. So going to sleep, باسمك ربي وضعت جنبي وبك أرفعه فإن أمسكت نفسي فاحفظها وإن أرسلتها فاحفظها بما تحفظ به عبادك الصالحين. Going to sleep. Waking up, الحمد لله الذي عافاني في جسدي ورد إلي روحي عفوا علي روحي وأذن لي بذكره. ثانيا شرح مفردات الحديث, the explanation of the vocabulary in the hadith. قوله الحمد لله, قال النووي رحمه الله تعالى التحميد الثناء بجميل الفعال وتمجيد الثناء بصفات الجلال ويقال أثنى عليه في ذلك كله. Now, so Imam al-Nawawi said التحميد, praise, is extolling or exalting due to beautiful actions and elevating or magnifying due to beautiful qualities or descriptions. And it is said that he praised him or extolled him in all of that. قوله الذي عافاني بجسدي أي كتب لي العافية من الأوجاع والأسقام وحفظني في فراشي من لسعة حياء أو لدغ أقرب أو غيره من المهلكات. Now, he said, in the meaning of he has preserved me in my body, that he has written for me to have health, so I'm not in pain, nor am I sick, and this is important to understand that, okay, someone may say, if they're not paying attention, so what happened is you have arthritis or you're sick or you're like that, then you're going to make the dua of the sick person. You're not going to say this. You're going to wake up and say the dua the sick person that the sick person would make. You're going to make ruqya upon yourself. You're going to read if you wake up with that situation. You're not going to say this. You're going to say what's relevant to you. So that's what's going to happen. So it means that he has written for me health and freedom from pains and sicknesses. And he has preserved me in my bed so that, and this is not only for that region. Don't think because of what's going to be mentioned is only for that region. He said, it has preserved my bed, preserved me in my bed, that a snake has not bitten me, nor did a scorpion sting me, nor other than that, from that which causes death and destruction happen to me. Nah. So this is important. This is from the things that we say before and after getting in and out of bed, because this is where the protection from those things come from dua. Nah. قوله ورد علي روحي, in his statement, and returned my soul to me. قال المناوي رد علي روحي إحساسي وشعوري. سبحان الله, I never even thought of that. رد علي روحي إحساسي وشعوري والنوم أخو الموت. I said the cousin, he said the brother of death. Subhanallah. قال الله تعالى الله يتوفاكم عفوا يتوفى الأنفس حين موتها والتي لم تمت في منامها. Right? He said, and Allah Ta'ala said, Allah يتوفى الأنفس حين موتها والتي لم تمت في منامها. Allah Ta'ala removes the souls at the time of death, and those who do not die, he removes the souls at the time that they are sleeping. Right? So, and Manawi said, and he returned my soul to me, it means he returned my senses and my faculties to me. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. brother. I mean, it's a lot in my mind when I think about this explanation of al-Manawi, rahimahullah ta'ala. But when he explains that he returned my soul to me, it means he returned my senses and my faculties. What comes to mind, anyone?
Your sanity.
Sanity, one. Because someone could be awake and insane, has no faculty. SubhanAllah. What else comes to mind?
Somebody they could wake up paralyzed after having the
Nah,
the faculties before.
nah, and brothers, please, please, make dua for our elder. And I don't know if he will want me to mention, but we have an elder who came to visit me in Maryland in 2019. I was in Maryland. And then I didn't hear from him for a long time. And I visited him uh, in, I'll say his name, Sheikh Nazih Ahmed. He's from Chicago. He's from Chicago. MashaAllah, he spent time in Yemen and Egypt. 2019, he's a general contractor, puts up roofs, sheetrock, and everything. Him and his son had a contract putting up, fixing up about, I forget what he said, 15 or 19 buildings. And he was working normal. Sheikh Nazih Ahmed, I don't know him have any sickness, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart, nothing. He's fine. Clean bill of health. He was working on a building and he felt dizzy. His equilibrium was off. He was putting up a ceiling. So he told his son he was feeling dizzy. He said, let's stop. He said, no, I'm going to finish. So he finished one more part and they left. While he was driving, he was swerving. His son said, do you want me to drive? I just sitting with him and when did I go to Pittsburgh? First came back, then I left and went to Pittsburgh. That was like July. Yeah, around July, I think. Yeah. So I went to visit the chef. Anyway, no. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I visited him in June. I visited him on my way back from Tennessee when I first got here. So he went home. He told me this from his own mouth. He went home, prayed Isha, laid down and went to sleep. Felt tired. He woke up the next morning, paralyzed from the neck down. Saw this from my own two eyes. Hafidhullah ta'ala. Shafahullah wa afahu. Went to sleep and woke up paralyzed, and he's still like that to today. Please make dua that Allah Ta'ala removes the sickness from him and gives him patience in his situation. Ameen. His name is Sheikh Nazih Ahmed from Chicago. Nah. Allah blessed him. He did, open up a masjid. So he's living in the masjid and in the entrance of the masjid. He's there all day. La ilaha illallah. So this is like serious. This is serious. Things that we're used to, like, it's not a guarantee. It's not our right. It's from the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we go into the bathroom in the morning and we look in the mirror and see our faces. There are people that used to see that one day they woke up and they couldn't see their face, their hands, or anything. They didn't realize what was going on. There are people that used to work, and Nazi's very physical brother before what happened to him happened to him. And I mentioned his story before. I'm mentioning it again because there's a lot of benefit in mentioning the story. And he still saw the favor of Allah upon him after his situation. He said, it amazed me. He said, man, Allah was so merciful upon me in this paralysis. So I'm waiting to hear his understanding. He said, anybody that I know that's partially or totally paralyzed like myself, they have a horror story about some kind of accident. They fell down, they were shot, they were in a car accident, fell off a roof, a ladder, and like that. He said, Allah Ta'ala I didn't go through any trauma. I went to sleep, woke up, this was my situation, and I had to have Iman in the Qadr and accept the Qadr. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. So he saw even in his calamity, Rahmah. The fact that he didn't have to be in the hospital unconscious in a coma and then woke up and realized he was paralyzed. He said he went to the doctors. He ran all kind of tests. They have no answer for him. So Al-Manawi mentioning this is really a lot of insight from our scholars when he said this statement, that the meaning of he returned my soul to me, he returned to me my faculties and my senses. So I think this really is something, a dua we all need to commit to memory, and not just commit to memory, commit to use. Alhamdulillahi alladhi athani fi jasadi wa radda alayya ruhi wa adina li bi dhikrihi. Subhanallah. ومن ثم قيل النوم موت خفيف والموت نوم ثقيل. Subhanallah. And he said from that, after mentioning the ayah, that sleep is a light death, and death is a deep sleep. Subhanallah. Sleep is a light death, and death is a deep sleep. Subhanallah. And you see that by the fact that we're going to be raised back up. But after how long? A deep sleep. It's not over. قوله أذن لي بذكره أي قدره ويسره لي فضلا عفوا لي فضلا منه ونعمة. And the meaning of he permitted me to remember him, it means he decreed it and made it easy out of his bounty and his favor. والإذن هو الرخصة والإباحة بشيء. And permission is a concession and an allowance to do a thing. أذن بشيء. Subhanallah. So when Allah gives the permission, he gives a concession and an allowance to do that. He could prohibit us from it. أذن بشيء إذنا أذانا وأذانة علم والآذانه الأمر وآذانه به أعلمه وأذن له في شيء إذنا أباحه له واستأذنه طلب منه الإذن وأذن له عليه أخذ له منه الإذن. He's talking about, the linguistic, the different formations of it and like that. It means to let him know, or to get his permission, or to seek his command, or his concession, and other than that, like that. قال العلامة الشوكاني رخص لنا أن أذن لا أنه أراد الرخصة لاصطلاحية الحديثة بعد زمن الصحابة. So he's talking about the difference that the words are being used after the time the companions. So he said رخص لنا أن أذن لا أنه أراد رخصة. Now, so he said he permitted us or gave us a concession for it, not according to the new way that this term is being used after the time of the companions, as if it was a need from him for us to do it. Now, فلا فرق بين العبارتين أذن ورخص في لسان الصحابة. He says, so رخصة and concession and إذن, permission, they are two, they have the same meaning according to the tongue of the companions. But after that, they started being used for two different things. قوله فلينفضه عفوا. In this statement, wipe. النفض مصدر نفضت الثوب والشجرة وغيره. So it means I brushed, swept, or wiped the thobe or the tree or other than it. Now, أنفضه لفظا إذا حركته لينتفض. So I wiped it, or wiping, if I moved it in order for it to become clear. ونفضته ونفضته شدد للمبالغة. Or you say نفضته, and the shadda is for emphasis. والنفض بالتحريك ما تساقط من الورق والثمر وهو فعل بمعنى مفعول كالقبض. And he's getting into لغة بمعنى مقبوض and like that. He said, and when you put the shadda on it, it means something fell down, like leaves or fruit from a tree. Nah. And it's as a verb with the same that can carry the meaning of being an object of the verb. Nah, like that. So we'll skip that part. قوله بسنفة إزاره. سنفة الإزار بكسر النون. سنفة الإزار بكسر النون طرفه مما يلي طرته أو طرته. So سنفة الإزار is the end of the izar from that which follows, I don't know what you call it, the body of the izar or whatever like that. وقال ابن منظور سنفة الإزار بكسر النون قرته التي عليها الهدب وقيل هي حاشيته. نعم. أية كانت الجوهري. نعم. So it's getting into the logo. What is the meaning of it? So the point of it is it's the end of the izar, the end of the izar, the tip of it. No. Or it can be also mean, alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, or it can mean the side of the izar, the end of it, or the side of it, or you can go from any end of it, whatever end of the garment you're going to use to wash it, to wash it off. Yeah. Nah. So I'm trying to get a break from that part right there. It's the end of it's the end of the thobe. A janib. أي جانب كان. So it's the end of a garment. It doesn't matter what end of it is. It could be the bottom of it. It could be the top of it. It could be the side of it. Whatever end of it is, then that's the sanitha. Nah. Now he says sanitha الثوب زوايته والجم sanifun. And the plural of it is sanith. So you say sanitha, sanifun. One is with tamarbuta, the singular and the plural does it. وللثوب أربع sanithat. We already talked about this. سمي الإزار إزارا. And the reason that إزار is called إزار لحفظه صاحبه وصيانته في جسده. It's called a إزار because it preserves the one who wears it and protects his body. أخذ من أزرته أي عونته. And it's from the word أزرته, meaning I aided him. ويقال إزار إزارة. And you can say إزار with ending with a ra or إزارة with a ta marbuta. Nah. And then it says قطعة من الثوب, a piece of the garment. قوله فإنه لا يدري ما خلفه عليه بعد. قال الطيبي رحمه الله تعالى ما خلفه ما مبتدأ ويدري معلق عنه لتضامنه معنى الاستفهام خلفه أي أقام مقامه بعده على الفراش. Now, so he said you don't know what was left on it or what was done on it after you. At-Tayyibi said what was left, that the word ma is the subject. Wa yadari is connected to it because of it containing the meaning of a question, a rhetorical question. After him, meaning what took his place, what was there after him on his bed. يعني لا يدري ما وقع في فراشه بعدما خرج وهو منه. Meaning he doesn't know what happened, what took place on that bed after he got out of it. من تراب, from dust, وقذات, أو هوام, or pest and rodents and things like that. Nah.
Now, what if you're like in a home and it's like back then it was more like it was like on the outside, right? Like far as bird was more like
No, it's not that it was outside. It's not that it was outside, but even here in the United States, depending on the region you live in, the type of pests that you get in your home are going to differ. So it differs from region to region, the type of pest you get. Like for instance, we never had a mouse or rat problem in Egypt, anywhere I live, or even a roach problem. We had a lizard problem.
oh yeah, like
Lizards and water bugs, not no mice. We didn't have an issue with mice.
Texas lizards and stuff.
I never lived in Texas. I visited once, but in Egypt we had those little lizards. Yeah.
Florida.
In the room with our hand, usually I go before sleep,
Mm-hmm.
I just wipe off with my hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I used to. It's a long time I'm doing this.
Nah.
And I just read Allahumma bismika amudu wa ahya.
Nah.
And then decide the normal close it in.
Nah.
And then go to sleep.
So this is permissible. But when we talk about the blessings of the wording and the detail of the Prophet ﷺ, there are things he actually told us to do with our hands. So we know that if he wanted us to do with our hands, he could have said hands. But he said the end of the izar or the end of the thobe. So even though we might not know, okay, what's the secret behind that with the Prophet? Because the Prophet said it with that detail. Sanifat izari. Something behind that. So it's best, in order to get the full benefit and protection that the Prophet is talking about, then take the end of a garment and do it with the end of a garment. Because if he wanted to say hand, he could have said hand. This is the same thing we say about the sibha, using the beads, right? Forget about bid'ah, halal, haram, and all of that. The hadith in Sunnah Nabi Dawud, authentic hadith, the Prophet said, "Ya ma'ashar an-nisa." And we know it covers men and women. He said, "Aqudna al-istighfar bil-anamil." He said, count the istighfar with your fingertips. فَإِنَّهَا مَسْئُولَاتْ مُسْتَنْتِقَاتْ. He said, because they will be questioned, your fingertips, they will be questioned and made to speak. So this is why, this is a miracle now. Your fingertips will be questioned and made to speak. He didn't say that about beads. So with the ikhtilaf, some say, oh no, but the beads is this and that. Prophet said, fingertips are going to be questioned and made to speak. I'm going to use what he said. Not without going into halal and haram. This is what he said. He said, izar. He said, izar. So take an izar, and it's the best to do with that. Perhaps it's just like when Umar radiallahu anhu, when the Prophet kissed the black stone, and he kissed the black stone. Nah, like that. Well, you finished what you were saying? Yeah.
You're right, because like some places, like maybe Detroit, they might have rats.
Yeah, New York. Yeah. He got some other,
other different roads might get in through a hole or something.
Yeah. So different places have different bugs. You got some places, especially if you get near rural areas, have locusts. Like the big grasshopper like things. So you got people got that. They got to close their windows or they're flying in. You got some people, places got mosquito issues and gnat issues and like that. So you got different, depends on the region you live in, you got different things, but you want to protect yourself from all of it. And if it got on your bed and you didn't know, then And also, there's another hadith that I was speaking about that Shaitan also puts things on your bed when you lay down in order to cause you discomfort. Nah. He said, قال اضطجع الاضطجاع هو النوم. He said to lay down, that means to go to sleep. Like الجلسة من الجلوس, like sitting is from, this is linguistically. بفتح نعم بفتحها المرة واحدة. وقال ابن منظور اضطجع نام. So it means to lay down, means to go to sleep. استلقى ووضع جنبه بالأرض. He laid his body down on the ground. نعم. والمضاجع جمع مضجع. Allah Ta'ala said, تجافى جنوبهم عن المضاجع. People who pray at night, they get their sides up out of the bed. A تتجافى عن مضاجعها التي اضطجعت فيها. That they remove their sides from the bed that they were laying in. قوله باسمك ربي وضعت جنبي. His statement, in your name, oh my Lord, I have put my side down. بإقدارك إياي على وضع جنبي وضعته وبإقدارك إياي على رفعه أرفعه ثم قال وبك أرفعه. Now, he said, and when he said, in your name, oh my Lord, I lay my side down, it means with you giving me that ability, I'm able to lay my side down. And with you giving me the ability, I'll be able to get back up. So then I'll get up. Then he said, and with your permission, I وذكر الاسم مرة ولم يذكره أخرى. So the first time he mentioned name, باسمك, in your name. And the second time he said وبك أرفعه, and by you I'll get back up. So he said باسمك وبك. So bismika, it means in your name or with your name. And the second time he said wabika arfa'uhu, and by your will, I will get back up. And he didn't say in your name, I get back up. فدل على أن معنى قوله باسمك معنى قوله بك. So it points to the fact that, it points to the fact that him saying in your name and with you or by you is equal. In your name and with you and by you or by your permission, they're equal. They carry the same meaning. وقوله وضعت جنبي بك وأرفعه. قال ابن بطال أضاف الوضع إلى الاسم ورفع إلى الذات. الله أكبر. He said, when he said, in your name I put my side down, and by you I lifted. Ibn Battal said he attributed putting his side down in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and lifting it up to Allah ta'ala directly. To Allah ta'ala directly. فَدَلَّ عَلَى أَنَّ الْمُرَادِ بِالِاسْمِ الذَّاتِ. So it shows that what's intended by saying in your name is by you, yourself. وبالذات يستعان في الرفع والوضع لا باللفظ. And with Allah Ta'ala directly, we seek aid in raising up and in laying down, not with the word. We're seeking from Allah, not the word. But yeah, that by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Nah. And we'll stop here. Is there any other questions before we go into 11, which is أمسكت نفسي فإن أمسكت نفسي فارحمها. And if you withhold my soul, then have mercy upon it. Any questions about anything? Okay. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Naam, Abu Rumaysa.
Two things. As far as the wiping, it's a lot of benefit because, subhanAllah, in my region, I guess specifically, we would wipe our beds and we would find like a spider sometimes. Subhanallah.
True.
You know.
Naam, sahih.
And also,
Sahih.
when you mentioned with the fingertips, right? The adhkar, is it specified to the right or the left hand, or is it general?
General, but we have the general description of the Prophet ﷺ that anytime he did something good, he began with the right.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, why?
Yeah, right. I'm agreeing with him. He said a spider you can be an ant. Any
Spiders, ants, yeah, you get a lot of that, especially if you live in a region that has those fire ants. Nah, may Allah protect us.
Yeah.
Nah.
But doing the entire bed with the izar
Mhm.
will be difficult. You know?
Hmm?
It will be difficult to wipe off with the izar.
No, if you take
Like
the end of it,
hand,
just
with the hand, it will be easy.
hmm?
You remove your throb and then do it with the throb like this.
Or he just
Huh?
While wearing, you cannot do it.
No, you can just beat it.
no, he said
Yep.
like how like
But you have to get.
I'm gonna give you an example. I'm going to get it. It's hard right now.
It's not the azar that you're wearing.
Any izar. Any cloth.
yeah, that's what he said. Any is that.
That is okay. I was saying that what you were
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Izar. That's the Izar we
Oh,
said.
any cloth.
Yeah.
That's
So,
any
so
cloth.
look at it. It's up. This is up.
No,
This is the
that-
bed.
yeah, that's what I do. That's fine.
Yeah, we be doing it right here.
I thought the one you are
Yeah.
wearing.
Yeah.
The one
You
you
thought
are
it was
wearing.
when you wear
Hey,
it.
now. He just said with it's up.
Very-
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna that's gonna be hard. But with this, it's up.
I
Nah,
was just.
ain't nah.
You can do that by wearing that izar.
Nah, it's gonna be difficult. But we have to remember when these commands come, they have two sides to it.
Instead of hand, izar is back.
Nah, because the Prophet mentioned that. But it doesn't mean you can't do it with your hand. We're not saying that at all. But the benefit of
More benefit of the hadith.
yeah. The benefit of doing exactly what the Prophet ﷺ said is the barakah and the aid of Allah Ta'ala in doing so. That's the benefit of doing exactly what the Prophet said.
And the dua, Allahumma bismika amutu ahya.
Now,
It's also enough, right?
yep,
Really?
yep. All of these. See, when the Prophet ﷺ gave us these, he gave us choices. He gave us choices. So
Most easy is this.
now, now, now,
So if you can share the dua on your group. So
okay.
just
You write it out and share.
Yes,
This one right here. Okay. I'll put it in the group, inshallah.
after waking up and
Going to see both of them. Okay, yeah, I'll share them in
these
WhatsApp.
are different to me. I only do Allahumma bismika
Nah.
ahya and alhamdulillah lazi ahyana.
هنا أماتنا وإليه النشور. أين
That's what I do.
أين. So then it's another one you can add. You know, Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, he talked about that. He talked about the importance of the benefit and the importance of the Prophet teaching us different ways to say things. The same exact thing, but he gave us different ways to say it. Because what happens is that when you say it, you want it to say it with mind, body, and soul. You don't want to just say it with your tongue, and it has no meaning behind it. So what happened is you could get used to saying something to the point that you're not even thinking about it. And you're not, so it's not really dua at that point because your heart is not heedful of it. Your mind is not attentive to it. So you want your tongue, your heart, and your mind to come together when you're talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we feel when someone converses with us or speaks to us, or especially that asks for something from us without paying attention to us? Could you imagine somebody wanted something from you and they're not looking at you or they're not really paying attention to what they're saying? They're like, yeah, man, because I really need $100 next weekend. Saying like, yeah. Like, what?
Like, man,
You know, you can't even look at me while you're talking to me. Like, you want to ask me for something, you're not even look at me? Like, sit down, talk to me. What do you want? You're not even gonna sit down and tell you. So then how are we gonna have that behavior with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You know what I'm saying? No. So we want to be heedful. Want to be heedful. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. طارق.
Allah yahfadak.
أمين وإياكم.
Now, when it comes to counting the adhkar on the fingers, is it closer to the sunnah to count each individual digit on the finger using your thumb, how we see sometimes, or is it closer to close each finger while counting, you know, subhanallah, 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 and then close the finger and then open them back up? You know, I can't show you, but do you have an understanding of what it is?
No,
I'm
exactly.
asking?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The cup. Yeah, they point it out and bring it back, point it out, bring it back. I can't say, I don't have any text to say one is better than the other. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. So I'll look into it, but as of now, Allahu A'lam. I can't, you know, because to say something is better than this or like that, I would need text to be able to say something like that. So Allahu A'lam.
Nah, man, maybe you could show the people what it is that I'm asking so they could kind of have an understanding of the
Nah.
question, inshallah. Barakallahu
Okay.
feek.
Wa fikum barak. Yeah, Brother Tariq is talking about cup, where some people count like this. I mean, I got short fat fingers, so, but they go like that. People even do that when counting the this you talking about, Tariq?
Naam.
And then the other way is like this, if you can see.
Naam, by closing it.
Yeah, I go one, two, three.
Like that. So going like this, I'm sorry, like this, counting. If you look at it, now what I do is if you look at it, you have 5 fingers, inshallah, for those who have 5 fingers. And you have the 3 lines at each finger, which is 15. So if you go through each line, right, twice, that's 30. And then you do that, that's 33. So we got 33. So 2, you go through your whole hand 2 times, plus 1 extra time on your pinky, that'll be 33 times.
You cannot do the thumb with that one. Usually we do like this.
Mm-hmm.
3 times 4, 12, 12, 12, 24, and the last one only 3.
Yeah, I do something like this.
Like what?
No,
Like this.
See?
Subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah.
just
So
to
I go up and then I can like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 throughout the whole hand. And by the time I get to here, I'm done.
You're done.
but from the childhood, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
3,
yeah.
6, 9,
12, and then you go
then
back.
again 12, 24, and then the third time we do it only this up to this.
MashaAllah. Okay.
Exactly.
Nah. So these are different ways to do it. I've seen some actually say that just the tips. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They do it twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, like that. So Allahu A'lam.
Everything is fine.
Naam, inshallah. So inshallah, for everything is good, we'll look into it. But this is what our brother Tariq was talking about, either like this or was this one right? The one about the rising and lowering up the finger. Is that what you're talking about by?
Naam. So
Okay.
you'll start with the pinky or the thumb, and then the entire fist will close, and then
Mhm.
you'll start by
Yeah.
opening it again.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't even do it. I don't know what it is with my sister. If I put my pinky down, my ring and my middle finger gonna go down with it. I can't even put my. That's like I don't know. That's like huh? That's from boxing, huh? That's like what do they call it? When somebody can do like that's like double jointed or something. You could put your pinky down without any of your other fingers more. MashaAllah.
SubhanAllah.
I could
Barakallahu feek.
don't figure about it. I can't do it.
This, we have 3 lines, right? 3 lines.
Uh-huh.
Every figure has 3 lines.
Yeah.
It's 12, 24, 9.
Yeah. MashaAllah. Naam. So inshallah ta'ala, that's these are different ways to do it. But our brother Tariq has given me some homework to find out if there are any statements about the best way with evidence. I mean, of course, you're going to find in the madhab statements that this is best and this is better and this is better. But we're talking about, inshallah, find out what is better with evidence, inshallah.
And why do people say with the bees and they say on what I heard from
The issue with the bees, that's a concession. The issue with the bees, that some scholars gave it a concession, is a hadith in Al-Allama, Al-Hafiz Abdul Azim Abadi, the one explained the explanation of Sunan Abi Dawood. He talked about this in detail, and he brought all of the narrations. You have narrations attributed to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Abu Hurairah, our mother Aisha radiallahu anha, that they took date seeds and they tied it to string and they used it to count, and if you get older, something to do and like that, and all of those concessions. But what we know for a fact is that the Prophet did it with his fingers, and he said out of his mouth, do it with your fingers. Then he mentioned a miracle connected to it, which is the fingertips being questioned, mas'ulat mustantiqah. Yeah. So once you get a text, a revelation with it, just stick to the revelation. See, and the thing is, we're not obligated by going and sticking to the revelation. We're not obligated to down talk about what somebody else is doing. All we're saying is that I have a text, I'm safe. I'm safe. I have a text, I'm safe. Nah. Okay, so any other questions before we stop, inshallah? Okay. May Allah Ta'ala grant us sincere intentions. Okay, Kalima says, does making dua also stop one from having bad dreams or thoughts? The best thing to do in order to prevent bad dreams and bad thoughts is to fill the house with dhikr and let dhikr be the last thing. Avoid conversations, anything. The Prophet ﷺ, he's prohibited talking without the remembrance of Allah after Salat al-Isha. So if anything doesn't have dhikr, conversations and all of that, movies, reading articles, watching the news, all of that, before you go to sleep, this is the things that what? Influence what you see when you go to sleep. So it's best for a person to go to sleep on reading the Quran, go to sleep on making dua, go to sleep and I'm not talking about watch a movie till 8:30 and then go to sleep 8:45, 9 o'clock, and you just say a little bit of dhikr before going to sleep. I mean that from Isha until you lay down, that is dhikr and khayr and making dua and stuff like that. And then after that, that's going to be what your mind is on before you lay down. And then after that, you'll be able to see, inshallah, that will influence what you see. Either you'll see nothing, or you might not remember your dream, or inshallah, you'll see something khayr. That's the best thing for it. But yes, making this dua before going to sleep and wiping off the bed and all of that does also aid to the comfortability of it, because you're following revelation when doing it. Wallahu a'la wa a'lam. Nah. I mean, why? May Allah grant us sincere intentions, beneficial knowledge, and righteous actions. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.